death threatens eternal night. Heroes from across worlds stand and unite. No other foe or force can match their might. The once great people of this world now hide in fear. All chaos shaken by the power of sword and spear. The black-clad armies of the Dark One now draw near. But in the distance, the sergeant and the bear appear. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Legions of Romans stand and let their arrows fly. The roaring of dragons and machines fills the sky. Secret agents and the generals they defy. Swarms of orcs and samurai raise their banners high. In the wake of death, only one man stands alone. The sergeant raises his sword, high silver shone. He condemns the chaos worn on his soul. He stands longing for the day he may return home. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Until the war for the world's brains is won, they will fight until there are none. But a hero will stand alone as one, and the bloodshed is finally done. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. Wings spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation, 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 to end the age of annihilation.
Welcome to ToV Live. It is Valhalla time. And I'm sure it is a time where it's like, well, it's a holiday week practically, at least for here in the United States, in the good old US of A. Hello everybody. Welcome to the ToV live stream. I am Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla. And a happy Wednesday to you all. It is the 2nd of July, so 2 days away from an aforementioned 4th of July, which I'm sure everybody will be busy. It'll probably be a very, very travel-oriented celebration type weekend, especially here in the U.S. Probably more narrowly in the U.S., but that's where I'm primarily located, so I digress. So I imagine that I'm not sure how much of an audience we'll have tonight, but that is okay. That is okay. Because it's going to be just an easy time. We have more things to paint, and I still gotta try and get these guys painted before Gen Con, and that's just like now, what, 4 weeks away? 4 weeks away to get these guys on. So we're going to start working on them. I'm going to add another silver gray to the metal parts and start painting that. Excuse me. I burped because I ate food in a second. And see, I'm starting to work on this one too, the Omegacron, which is a VC miniature, or Valhalla custom miniature. They basically take miniatures from other games and turn them into official, non-official units that we use for tournaments and such sometimes, especially at ScapeCon, which ScapeCon just happened. And so, yeah, it'll be another year before we have another ScapeCon. But an interesting thing occurred before, about like a half hour, 45 minutes before we jumped on here in the stream. And this was something that was like, well, we were hoping for it, but you know, you don't never know when to expect it. But we just had around noon today, and just saw it, a new community custom wave dropped. So I'm going to take a look at that real quick. I'm pretty sure the next C3V podcast will probably be focused on these units, but I did want to just give them a quick look and read before we paint tonight, and see what this stuff is all about. So let me, before I go to this painting and chatting, whoever's around the chat, I'm sure it's a busy week. It's probably a day off week for a lot of people. Unfortunately, not so in my house. We still have things to do here. But anybody who wants to stick around tonight, here, I'm gonna find the right. No, it's not that one. It's this one. Okay. And here I'm gonna minimize this, and okay. I know, I'm like messing around with things, so we can look at the whole window here. And maybe we need to, since we can see part of it, we'll expand this a little bit. Okay, so here we are, C3V Wave 24 Pack 1. And see, we got Pack 1, Pack 2, Pack 3, Pack 4. Very, very interesting. And of course, Valhalla Customs. We've explained Valhalla Customs before in the past, but basically it's a community, Heroscape community run, creating units, and there's like play testing involved with this, and a lot of the work is done. It's been a while. I think our last drop was Agent Nora, and that was just a single. So to have just a wave is very, very nice. Captain Stupendous, I believe that's Luke, and he helps moderate this. Had an interesting conversation with him some time ago about Valhalla Customs and stuff like that. So it's good that he was able to drop these. And here, let me just read here. I'm going to read the bottom before we look at these units real quick. I just want to read the bottom. Yep, Captain Stupendous for the C3V team. So it says here, thanks for following along with another C3V release. We are working hard at the finishing touches of a larger release in the near-ish future, but are hoping to continue our normal pack releases in the meantime. Playtesting always helps, thanks to those participating in our current event, as does encouraging your local players and TDs to check out and incorporate the VC canon into your scene. We know that in 2025 you have options when you scape, and we're doing our best to keep C3V an attractive option that captures the best of the classic Heroscape design and aesthetic. So that's really cool, and we'll just give these a quick buzz. I'm sure, like, next ToV podcast we do, we'll probably just basically give some time to really looking at these and discussing these. So I'm not even going to go through the lore. I'm just going to go through the cards and just take a look at them real quick. Colborn, Alar, interesting stats on this end, nice range. Okay, Just trying to see if anything stands out to me for this unit. I've placed no records in. Okay. This on order marker. Okay. Oh, so this is for tribesmen. Okay, cool. Because I already have some VC tribesmen units. So that's cool. This one can go well with my tribesman army build. For that giant slayer. Okay. All right. It's a nice little boost. Let me choose any hunter army card that has at least one figure you control within 8 spaces. Oh, okay, that's nice. Some nice distance, and within 8 spaces, no line of sight needed. Apparently, move any amount of unrevealed order markers onto that card from another card in your army with at least one figure on your battlefield. Interesting. So it's a great way to switch order markers. Okay, nice. Nice stats. So that's one I might consider getting. I know my, I forget what they're called, the Magua or something, Magua Tribesman, and that's a C3V unit. They've been needing a hero, and I think that's what that one is supposed to be, so very cool. And then we got, it looks like another Cowboy, Leslie, Coyote Kane. Let's see the stats here. Okay, range 7, attack 2, defense 2. Okay. This seems typical for your type of cowboy outlaw type of unit here. An eye for an eye. I can't wait till they release another squad, though. Personally, that would be interesting. Like the bees. I hope it's something. I hope they eventually get something that is like as engaging as the bees are, because I just absolutely love the bees. But anyway, eye for eye. Leslie Coyote King attacks him. Attack 1 additional time for each wound marker on his army card. Okay, so basically like up to 4, and so maybe like a high 5. You got height. Okay, so there you go. So you wound them, and you just want to make sure you wipe them out. Okay, opportunist when attacking a figure that does not have any revealed order markers on its army card, or cards if there are more than one common army card up for that figure. Interesting. So, okay, it's just an interesting way to navigate through order markers, as well as when you would want to place him and use him. And it doesn't say anything in this about him having to have an order marker. He could be like doing attacking, and he just, you know, in a synergy or something. Just so when attacking a figure, not when order markers are revealed and attacking a figure. Interesting. And what else here? Okay, interesting. Meridian. Now, why does that sound familiar? I know that name, and I've probably discussed things with Jeremy before to tell me what's that supposed to mean, and it's not coming to my head. So leave a comment below if you remember what I'm supposed to remember. But this is nice. Roden Saren. Interesting. Let's see here. What is this? Starfinder battles, collective villains, and guard. Huh? That's the unit. Not bad stats, actually. I mean, 4 life, 85 points, 6. Okay. Not bad stats. Prioritize power system for each one to move around this card. Subtract 1 from and 1 to his defense. So this is like a defense buff, actually, but you do reduce your attack for wounds. But that makes some kind of like a tougher type skin. Less attack, tougher. Oh, that's interesting. Everyone. Saren takes no wounds from a normal attack by an opponent's figure. You may place an energy marker on this card. A maximum of 2 energy markers can be placed on this card. Okay. Oh, and then you have a special attack here. Okay, so that just allows you multiple attack. Okay, so those are interesting. And then the last one. Betacron. Always nice getting a Jandar Solberg. Okay. For hero, the defense is rather low on this. But you got deadly shot. Okay. Okay, interesting. So I can see ways of having this synergize with like Omicron snipers. Okay. Interesting. 20-side die roll is just automatic. But hey, you take whatever wound you can get, I guess. So that is a tiny little thing. So I guess it won't have much in way of defense. But yeah, so that's it. That's looks like wave 24, and I'm sure we'll in the weeks to come later on this month we'll sit down and talk about it. Right now, there's nothing on these in Valhalla Customs or in C3 Books Index, so this is just newly released just today, so it's going to take them some time to update. So hopefully in a few weeks from now, they will have updates for that. So that was taking a look at Wave 24. I think those look very intriguing, and we are going to get back to the regularly scheduled programming. Okay. Here, I don't need these headphones right now, so I'm going to start painting some stuff. Okay. So my Wraith Riders are my test subjects. So let me move this microphone here. I'm going to try something with like the metal for these guys, because I am going to make it kind of corrosive. But, and I think I can do that with maybe this type of wash. This wash is like really, it's really dark. So I want to use it kind of light. But I think it can help make the stuff look like it's a bit more corrosive. So it's always good to shake your paint, probably before streaming. Let's see, what time is it? Hey, Major Midnight, just arrived. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing fine. It's just a lazy night. Actually, one thing I need to work on, and since you're here, Major Midnight, I can show you real quick here. Hold on, I'm just gonna move this a second. I see, I got a new map ready for this Sunday for whatever Gen Con preparation skirmish I'm gonna do. It's another Gen Con map, and so I need to have ideas though on how would I put it? I need ideas on what armies I should skirmish, because last Sunday, which went really well by the way, last Sunday's stream. Thank you everybody who were involved in that. I need to like think of what armies I can do with like with like Revenant Acolytes and the Tanuki Tricksters, because I think those might be heavily used, so I want to try some armies out with them. And I think this Sunday it might be a short stream, so I might have only one chance to do just one skirmish for Sunday. But hopefully we'll be able to do more within this coming month, because we are in July now. So okay, I'm going to try something here when it comes to mixing these paints. I'm just going to do some regular gray here, and it's called negative. I'm having a hard time coming out, but I know what to do when stuff has a hard time coming out. So I'm just saying, what are you guys' ideas? I think I can do like a Revenant Acolytes with actually I could just try, if I want to do something basic, I can just try like an Iron Lich type build with oh, what is it? An Iron Lich type build with Revenant Acolytes, as well as a Queen Mal build with Revenant Acolytes, and just see how those perform. Oh my goodness, this is really blocked up. Hold on, guys. There we go. but if anybody has like any other ideas, and I also have some ideas from like a couple people from ScapeCon that I saw on the stream too, that I might implement. So I just have to brainstorm it. Okay, this is giving me a hard time too. Yeah, that's right. Dang. Okay, this is really okay. There it goes. Okay. Hopefully, I won't need as much, but hopefully, it'll be just as good. Clean that. I hear my cat scratching something in the background. Major Midnight says, that's awesome. Hopefully be able to tune in on Sunday. I haven't played enough with the new guys, so I really can't suggest a decent army for you. Sorry. Oh, it's okay. This is one other thing though too. No one's really had a chance to play with the new stuff because they ain't out yet. You know, I had a fun time having proxies for some of the stuff I don't have, or hasn't been released yet. Especially like a Scavarith, you know, last Sunday, but it'd be much better when you actually get to play them. But yeah, maybe I can think of like some Tanuki Trickster build. I think there's been some suggestions. I just might do some research online, and then probably since I love my queen, probably a Maladrix build. But I'd also want to use the bears too. Maybe there's some type of combination with the bears and other common units I can use. I'll have to see, because I still have a feeling that you're going to have still people come with the bears just because they are fairly easy to use, you know. Okay, actually, I'm going to use this, but I'm just going to take this and use this up. But yeah, and Major Midnight, I don't know if you saw. Or you weren't here at the beginning, but I did check out, and apparently it just dropped. I don't know if you're into like VC customs at all, but they finally have released a new wave for Valhalla Customs, Wave 24, and I was just looking at them in these past few minutes. And if you didn't see them, that's fine. I can like actually clip out this little bit of video that I did looking at them tonight, just to give like a quick first look, and then probably well, our next ToV podcast is planned on the 20th of this month, and we'll probably just do an overview of that wave then with the gang. And yes, it's still hot, so the air conditioning's coming on. But I'm glad they're finally able to do some more C3V things. Actually, I like how that metal looks. It's not as silvery as the bottom there, but it still gives a little bit of brightness to it. So I think I'll go with it. Although I'm not going to use this big of a brush on everything. Here, hold on. But yeah, last Sunday's what would I say? Last Sunday's stream, when I did like basically an Isoneck build with one part Mal and one part not Naughty Washing, Halushia type build. It's funny how those two armies, depending on how you use them, came out almost equally strong, because each one had a win, each one had a loss. So I found that rather fascinating. Okay. I can't see what I'm doing here. So I don't think I'm going to make these glitter so much with silver. Although I might make the chain kind of silvery. Oh, and let's see here. It's always cool checking out VC Customs. I'll definitely have to check that out later. Yeah, the units look pretty good, and I know there's one. Looks like there's one that supports like Omnicrons. There's another that supports another VC like common unit. It's like a tribesman build basically. Don't know if that's actually going to work. I got a lot of gray, so I'm going to use it tonight. But I think I need a smaller brush. I think this one is still a little big. I don't know why my lights are as good as they can. Anyway, I wanted to say hello, Meloman Studios. Hello to you. See your measurement. It says, I think we do need more units that pair with Omnicrons, especially with the repulsors. Yeah, the repulsors. I like their Omnicron snipers. Repulsors are I like a double-edged sword. So, I mean, I have a squad or two. I don't use them much. I said I wanted this. I need to pick a spot where I want to start on this, and then just go from there. Yeah, hold on a second. Okay. You guys only can see that out of the corner, but I was gonna say, me and my son, we actually played, because he was asking, we played some Heroscape this past weekend, actually. And speaking of Omnicron snipers, I actually played an army where I had a squad of Omnicron snipers, and Sergeant Drake, and my son had Maro Warrior, a squad of Maro Warriors, and Nigok Saw. And we played just basic rules because he only understands really the basic. That's as far as his attention will hold, really. But what was interesting was that we got down to where I had an Omnicron on height, and then he had his Nigok Saw right next to him, trying to kill this Omnicron sniper, and for like 3 rounds of rolling dice, we would get skulls, but then we would roll shields. For each of us, we'd be attacking, we get skulls, and then we get defense. And it kept on going back and forth, back and forth. We rolled out the attacks, but we also rolled out the defense. And we're just like, when is this gonna end? We just want it to end. And something had to give. And it was eventually my son who rolled the attack, and finally I succumbed to Niguk's attacks. He was happy. He was happy to get a win. And I wasn't making it easy on him either. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Wait, I need a. Okay, there you go. I need a number one. Hold on. Where's my number one? Oh, I have a number one. You are number 6. I am not a number. I am a free man. Does anybody know where that quote comes from? Okay. Anyway, I see it's kind of fitting tonight to wear this shirt, Gymnastic Park, and apparently I believe there's some type of dinosaur movie that's being released right now. Not that I've paid attention to much dinosaur movies lately, but I do hear it's out. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to do any like special painting. I know so many people can paint so intricately these, these types of molds, and it's like I can't do anything like intricate to where I like make it look like they're eating an apple, or I'm holding an apple or whatever. I'm just not that good. Let's see here. Melanite Studios quotes are my weaknesses. Well, and Melanite, you gotta understand too. Like, I mean, I grew up in like late 80s, throughout the 90s, and so it's like that's kind of the pop culture I pull from. But that quote specifically was actually way before my time, actually. And it was actually an idea that was a pre-James Bond type character. At least I think it was pre-James Bond. Oh, it could have been around the time James Bond was out, but it was almost like a spy thriller, and it was one season, but it was very, very interesting season. It was called, hold on a second, I'm trying to get this gray here. It was called, wait, what was it called? I guess no, I left my head. Hold on a second. If I can't remember, I'll find it real quick. The Prisoner. It was called The Prisoner. And this was made back in, I think, the 60s or 70s or something like that. So well before a lot of our times. But it was recommended to me from someone, so I decided to watch it, and I'm like, it was actually very, very intriguing, except for like the last episode of the season, which was basically the finale. It was just kind of weird, and it's not like it totally ruined everything, but it still it was kind of weird. But the air of mystery in the thing was fascinating. Hold on a second. Let me see something with. Let me see. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, that was. Okay. Okay, hold on. I do have to like really take a look at this because I can't see too much where I'm sitting. I just want to make sure, is it all covered? Oh, there's some ear spots. Wait a minute. Let me see. Does that show me any ear spots? This reference. I know I can look up this reference online. I know. I just don't. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's just as metal as the side. So, and even if it's not, that's how I'm gonna do it. Actually, I got the seam right there. I see on that side. I have a mold is connected to something at some point in time. Okay. Melman Studio says finales can be hard to do, especially when your audience is expecting a lot more than you originally planned. Yeah, when I think for this series, they're planning to go, I think, for more seasons than just one, but it just got bottomed out. But it's still fascinating. I mean, each episode really can stand alone by themselves. It's very fascinating. Even like the person who recommended to me said it's like one of the best television series ever. Which is, or one of the best, you know. And that's pretty high praise, you know, for that. Okay, one down. What time is it? Okay, we'll see how long we can go tonight. I still have a lot of gray here. That's what happens. I dump a lot of gray into something, and then I gotta use it. So unfortunately, for these painting tests here, I'll keep everything pretty bland, but that's okay. Oh, I already feel my back like start to be like, you're leaning forward too much. Okay, I'm gonna lean back here in my chair. Hopefully y'all can still see stuff. I know it's better if I lean forward for y'all, but if my back starts fighting with me, then not much I can do. That is tough. It's like, I don't know how to get that paint. There. Like when you gotta angle something to where you literally have to turn something over to get at it. That's tough paint. Let's see here. Let's see here. Melman Studios, I'm hopping off for the night. It was nice talking to you. Have a good 4th. You as well. We'll do some skirmishes this Sunday for sure. So, but glad you could join us even for a minute on this just well, slow stream night, because I'm sure everybody's got something to do on this particular kind of week, you know, either vacationing or just resting. You have time to do that. It's always good to put that time in. I hear some fireworks out there. And I really don't have a steady hand at all. Always thought I had a steady hand. Nope, I don't. Hand's quite jittery. Which doesn't help when it comes to the painting, you know. Okay, I'm just going to say what's on my head right now, what I was thinking about. Say tonight I was putting my son to bed, and he wanted to read through not read. There's you know, you're always reading him something before bed. But he wanted to go through like some photo album stuff, and my mom likes to, you know, take pictures and then send him, like, you know, books of photographs and such like that. And so he grabbed one of those, and it was actually something very, very recent, or recent events, like from this year. And there was a picture of me and me, my mom, my brother, and my sister. And I'm looking at myself, and I'm just like, am I that old? Yes, I'm older. I'm not 20 years old anymore, for sure. And sometimes I feel like, oh, when you were younger, you look at people who are like in their 40s, like they have life all together or something. You know, the older you get, the more things you should have together, you know. And I'm just like, I missed that boat. Missed that boat a long time ago. I don't even know if I'm gonna have anything together in like the next decade or two. You get to 80 and I still won't have everything together. But what can I say? What can I talk about since it's just one of us watching tonight? I guess what I can talk about is somewhat about the past, and I've talked about this like on Roguescaper's channel before when he was interviewing me. I'm gonna go back again because I was just thinking about it today. Always around 4th of July, I tend to think about this event. But this was when I was 18. So this was a while ago. This was year 2000, and this, I mean, July year 2000. That was just a few months before the 9/11 events happening. But I digress. That particular July, and it was around 4th of July. I decided to basically hop in a vehicle or basically leave my house, leave my family, my mom, dads, brothers, sisters, whatever, comforts of home, hop in a bus of people who I didn't really know all that well. I mean, I trusted them enough, but didn't know them all that well. Still half sick, very underweight, very pale. I mean, I looked at pictures of myself like a long time ago from that trip, and I'm just like, there's no way I should have been on that trip. I mean, even at 18 years old, I mean, you're old enough to do your own thing, but I was just so the illness of Crohn's disease really took over a lot, and it you end up just so fatigued from everything in the illness and so underweight that you're just basically in a shell. And I mean, dealing with that for the entirety of my adolescence to that point, it takes its toll. It takes its toll physically and psychologically. So I had a lot of pain inside. I had to deal with a lot of pain inside. But for some reason, I decided to go on a missions trip in a church that we just basically became part of because we had just moved to Michigan at that time, and travel down to West Virginia. I didn't drive, but we traveled down to West Virginia to a place called Mustard Seeds and Mountains in McDowell County, West Virginia, and basically working on people's houses throughout just a week period, or the period of a week. It was always usually around, like I did that for a few years after going to West Virginia. and it was always around, you know, that time of the year, the 4th of July, so I wasn't really at home much for 4th of July at that period of time. But yeah, that first year was assigned to a family, or I wasn't assigned. Like it basically put people in groups, like work crews and stuff, based on what skill level or lack of it, and you go to like a family's house, and you know, for whatever repairs need to be done, whatever projects need to be done. And I was pretty much useless in everything. I didn't have much experience, but they just assigned me to help work on a roof, and it's funny how, like, the couple that lived there, I mean, you guys gotta imagine, this was the year 2000. This was 25 years ago. Like the couple that lived in the house had a child who was not but maybe a year or a couple years old, just practically still a toddler, I think. And now she would be in her mid-20s, nearly late 20s now. Isn't that insane? That's just so insane. And never really followed up with them. So I don't know, but a lot of those, like house projects, basically you would work on parts of the house, and then, you know, you don't expect to get anything done. The point is not getting something done on time. If you did, great, but they said, you know, if you don't get it all done, that's fine. I mean, you're there for not only your growth, but I mean whatever family's growth you're in as well. And so going to a roof was and I mean, the heat, West Virginia heat, especially in the summertime, I was afraid of heights. And again, malnourished. I think if we weren't at the work sites, and there were a lot of kids, I mean, there were a lot of kids my age or younger with me there. And, you know, they go hang out and do what normal teenagers did back in, like, what, late 90s, early 2000s. And I never had that. I was very antisocial, and I mean very antisocial. I mean, like, you didn't even know I was there, because I'd just be, like, curled up in a ball, like in a hole somewhere, literally. I mean, that's what debilitating illness can do to you, you know. So the interesting thing was, though, it's one of the last day, like maybe mid to latter week on that, one of the adult leaders in our roofing detail, basically at the house of this place, decided to give their testimony. And it wasn't a come to Jesus moment for me, but it was an understanding, like, this person went through all this stuff, and they're overcoming it. Maybe if I just tell them some of my pain, they could help. It was the first time that, you know, I actually, like, cried for help. It's not like, you know, things were horrible. I mean, my family supported me throughout my illness and stuff, but when you go through an illness like that, and some other personal things I'm not going to talk about, it just happens, you know. And you keep a lot of things internally. So I was just thinking, okay, when can I talk to this person as alone as it possibly can be? Or it was my youth pastor's wife, basically. And it was basically after the afternoon was coming, and we had to go back for that day, back to where all of us were staying, and we were putting stuff in the back of the car, and the rest of the kids were getting in the van, and she was kind of alone. That's when I tried to get out what I needed to get out, and I couldn't even get it out. I just broke down. I was quite literally crying in the arms of a stranger, basically, because I didn't know anybody all that well. But she let me, and I mean, she was already the mother of boys and a daughter too, who are now adults and have kids themselves. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how time goes. But she showed so much compassion for me and allowing me to just talk about it for a few seconds. And then she also told the other another guy who was basically a youth pastor of another church in Alabama that had joined our group to combine two small groups, make one big one. His name was Stu, and they just spent time right there in the back of behind that van, just praying for me, and the kids in the car were just I think hopeful for me too. It was a very encouraging environment, very, very welcome environment. So that helped, and after that, later that day when we were like cleaning or eating or something, my youth pastor, obviously a youth pastor's wife, told him my youth pastor was there, and also a priest. He also was an ordained Episcopal priest, so that gave him a little bit of authority too. But Jeff, he came up to me and he said, he's like, Ryan, my wife told me about this type of thing, and I just want you to know that we're all praying for you here. And Jeff really was a great mentor to me, especially those first few years. Now it's been, I haven't even seen him in person. It's been almost 20 years, I think, since I've seen him in person. But he impacted my life enough to be like, yeah, I said this during like Heroscape's interview. It showed me the power of what friendship could be, and how supporting each other can really change someone's life. It certainly did mine, or created enough spark for me to keep on going. Alright. Got that. This I'm gonna do tonight. Where are we? Okay, we're already an hour into this. Okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna go that long tonight, but I know I need to use up all this paint, so yeah. And so anyway, after that initial mission trip, of course I had to go back, because you want to keep on getting some of that. And whoops, no. Okay, that deal. So I kept on going on consecutive mission trips for like a period of almost like 10, 11 years. I think I missed one summer. But we were on a mission trip going somewhere. Hurricane Katrina hit. We went down to like Bay St. Louis on the Mississippi coast, Gulf Coast, and we were there. And that was a few months after the event, and it was nasty. But the first couple of years, it was going back to West Virginia. And when I went back to West Virginia the following year, that's when someone gave me the idea to be like, here, take my camera and record stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I did. And this person would tell me like, yeah, record from my camera, and I'm just like, oh, this is an idea. And he said, you know, we'll find time to see if we can edit something after everything is done. And that's actually what that was the first initial inspiration for doing any type of video production. So you want to talk about like roots of how like this whole channel started. This was the root, guys. This was the absolute root. Was like the second year of a mission trip, someone handed me a camera and be like, hey, just record some stuff. I think that was John. I think it was John that gave me a camera. And again, that initial mission trip, nothing was done with it because I didn't know how to edit it. So what I did the following year is I got my own camera, a VHS-C camera. Nothing digital. It was like, you know, as analog as you can get. Actually, it was, you know, it was practically analog. A VHS-C camcorder, and I still have, to this day, I still have that camcorder stored away. And I took it on a mission trip. I only had a few tapes because I only could afford so much. So I just basically recorded shots of what I wanted to record that I thought would make, you know, effective shots eventually when I figure out how to edit it. And someone on the trip said, hey, I know somebody who can probably help you edit those videos, because he's recorded things and edited stuff at a college that I was visiting one time. And I'm like, well, if you can show me where he is and introduce me, I'd be happy to see what he can do. And so this guy Keith introduced me to my longtime friend Jason Rutherford. I don't even know where Keith is anymore. Like he had me meet Jason, and then that was kind of that's one of the last few times I saw Keith. I mean, there might have been one or two other times, but that was pretty much it. But I know Jason. Since then, I mean, and so me and Jason were basically, what, 19, 20? Since we've known each other. And he started like, I would basically take the videotapes to his house, and he would edit it on his computer. He would get these like VHS tapes downloaded in his computer, this big bulking thing. Again, this is early 2000, guys. This is still when technology was still not as streamlined as it is today. And Jason knew how to edit as much as possible, and I was just kind of there observing him edit, and ended up making a video out of that. And after we showed it, and it was probably like a 10-15 minute video. And that applause you get after something like that is done was great. And I'm just like, you know what? I found something here that I don't know if I was good at it, but I love doing. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to keep on doing this. And so I did. Year after year, I'd take a camera. Actually, that same camcorder, took it everywhere with me when it came to going on mission trips, and kept on recording, and the videos would get bigger and bigger and bigger. and until you'd have and Jason helped edit, and Jason ended up doing other things too, with people within the church, even surpassing me, even going on some trips I didn't even go on, even though he was never Episcopalian, but he was known. And eventually I learned how to edit things myself, mostly, although at the beginning using Jason's software, because there was also a time before I got married that me and Jason ended up being like roommates, along with another guy sharing an apartment. And having getting into that apartment, that was the first bit of freedom that I had as a young adult. Because before I was just at my parents' place. And there goes the air conditioning. All right. Well, let's see what time is it. Okay. So I know I gotta wrap things up because there doesn't seem too much activity in the chat tonight, and I can use the rest of this probably on. I'll just have to be quick about it. But yeah, so I mean that's how when I started taking video, and that's, like I said, all that eventually transformed into Tales of Valhalla. That's the origin of all that. And who knows where? I mean, it could all just end up being this. This is it. This is the best it gets. But you know what? Darn good run, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. I think we still got some more stories to tell. I'm looking back. I know there's a lot of people I need to recontact and catch up with again. You know, what's the saying? Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and one is gold. You know, that's there's a lot of paint there. Let me get that on. Okay, is there anything else I need to put here? Oh, you guys can see that. Sorry, I'm pointing in a direction where you guys can see, but it's kind of a heartbreaking thing doing these painting streams. Okay. Now. Nice, smudge that. Alright, let me see this big guy. Okay. So we have all these metally thingies. Alright, I think I can use this big one, or bigger one, and make a better difference with it here. Alright, let's see, Hellforge. I don't even know if I'm going to use Hellforge, but Hellforge might be interesting to use with Revenant Acolytes. So that's what I might use on Sunday as well. Just because I haven't really played the Hellforge, so just to give this Isomech an option here. Gotta stick you in. Come on. Get in there. Aye. Oh, and one other thing I too want to say on these mission trips too, like after the week was done, since it would be on the 4th of July weekend, we'd sometimes like find fireworks or go to the rapids in West Virginia and just do some type of celebratory thing after we were done for the week, you know, a hard week of work. And so we would go, sometimes go to a I mean, I was still so young. There's so many things I needed to learn that I hadn't learned. Like adult type things. I mean, I definitely, my maturity level was not as high. I mean, I'm still, I would say, somewhat immature even at 40. But I remember like one time we watched fireworks together as a group there in West Virginia. And I remember one time we went to an event to where it was like a whole, you know, gathering of people. Obviously, in America that happens. But someone bought kettle corn, and I actually had never tried kettle corn in my life. And I tried it, I'm like, that's great. Although I don't think it was very great for me health-wise after, because corn can really tear you up if you got Crohn's or colitis or something. But I enjoyed it. So I have this love for kettle corn popcorn. Let's see. Okay, that is okay. Yeah, the color is there for that. Okay. Oh. Gotta make sure I avoided them. These are so intricate. You know, some of these things just crazy. I need a small one for that too, but it's alright. I just want to get these bigger things first. Again, we're not going for too much perfection here because, holy smokes, how am I supposed to get there without touching any of that? Anyway, I can get these, that's good. Oh, I can go there too. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. If you're all here in the States, a great 4th of July weekend too. I know this Friday it's like we have a fair that's like basically nearly right outside our door. So we just get chairs, sit in the parking lot, and enjoy the fireworks show that happens. One slight advantage of living where we're at is we get that. Kind of get that privilege of that happening, so that'll be nice. Don't need to pay for parking or like, you know, or any event. It just happens. And actually, if people wanted to park in our parking lot, I'd probably just be like, "Yeah, here, give me $5 or something." But we can't do that, unfortunately. Okay, so I think that's all I can do for this one at the moment. Here. So make sure that nothing's gonna get too wet here. I don't think so. Oh, still so much work for this. Here. But okay. Get that. Look at this last one here. The Iron Lich himself. Let's see. I'm already doing a little bit on him, but I'll do this here. Arm. There's always so much you gotta paint on these things, it's just crazy. At least that's coming more solid here in this. Okay, I'm gonna try to find time to paint these a little bit more so we can, because I don't think we'll have like a lot of time in which to paint these over the course of the next few weeks, because there might be other things we're doing. have to see. Okay, well, bit by bit, it's starting to come together a little bit. Still a lot of work to do on the thing. Okay, for now, I'll just leave that as is. I'm going to take this off, and there's just a little bit more of this paint left, so I'm just going to put it on. I have a granite guardian here. I'm just going to put some of this excess paint on it, so I'm not have to waste it. Okay, and I think we'll call it a night because it's just like chat's not too active, probably because it is a holiday weekend, which is very understandable. And I will hit the hay myself because I do have to get up early in the morning, and so even like an hour and a half, I wasn't planning on being this late because medical appointment stuff. So I'm going to wrap up for tonight. But I do thank everybody for watching. Milliman Studios and Major Midnight, thank you guys so much for jumping in the chat. And actually, who was first? I think it was Major Midnight. Yeah, Major Midnight first in the chat there tonight. Thank you so much. We'll see all of you this Sunday. I'm going to do more skirmishes. I'll try to get both the Tricksters and the Acolytes out there, and we'll see how they do with different heroes. And with that, I do thank you all for watching. Have a happy 4th of July for those of you in the United States, or even out if you are so inclined to set off some fireworks. Probably not. But I wish everybody well. Have a good week. Have a good rest of the week. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you next time. Later now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.